Don't get me wrong, I like to joke a lot and things like that, but when it comes to like this extraterrestrial information, I've never lied to you. Everything that I told you is true, and it's getting worse because when we approach 2024, we're headed into what's going to be probably one of the biggest sacrifices of this time, of this planet. I warned you guys about the Andromedans years ago. I had interactions with them when I first entered into which was like close to the Mammoth Caves at the time I was living. And I was living close to the Mammoth Caves, and I started having like deep extraterrestrial experiences. It started in dreams. Then eventually, some of these beings in these dreams, I started to actually meet them. And I told you guys that the Andromedans are actually insects. However, they can morph, and when they morph, they can be very attractive, extremely attractive, whether they're male or female. When they morph, however, they can only stay locked into that shell based on what's called a time code. And when that time code expires, they'll begin to reverse back into the way that they really look. So a lot of times when you're interacting with them, when it's time for them to reverse back, they go into like a hiding. They disappear. You won't see them. This is how you know you're dealing with an Andromedan. And I'm pointing this out for a reason, and I want to be really brief. The Andromedans have a pact with technology, a deep pact with technology. And they put illegally wiretaps on sexual energy. This happened years ago in the 1900s. They put wiretaps on sexual energy. So what's going to happen is that, to make a long story short, once you start engaging in sex with a person that has a bug on them or a tap, you pick it up. This isn't like an STD because this is based upon an electrical signal. You got to remember that this is based upon an electrical signal. So this isn't like an STD. This is something to where even when you leave the experience with that person, you'll be tagged or followed or even targeted by other beings. And what's going to happen eventually is that for those people that don't, you know, figure out a way to get rid of the tag, it's going to be a major sacrifice on this planet in 2024 based upon the sexual contract. Because when you perform in a sexual energy exchange, you take it for granted. There's a lot of finance in that, a lot of energy in that. I mean, you got to think when you ejaculate, you use or waste more energy than it would take to power a city for a few minutes, literally, from one nut or even a female, let alone when two people are doing it. So what I'm saying and why I'm pointing that out is that how much money has been generated from that? How much have you or us, how much have we lost in wasted sexual energy, and who's going to be accountable for that? You see, you have to take time to yourself. And when I say time, I'm not talking about like a couple of weeks or months either. You have to do rituals and take time to yourself so that you can cleanse and totally debug yourself. Because if you don't, you will be tracked forever. I'm gonna tell you like this. Anybody that after 2024 hasn't spent at least 5 years, or you can do rituals based upon the number five, of which I give out in my private consultations. But if you don't do 5 years or 5 weeks or five of something to totally break the spell, by the time 2024 gets here, you won't be able to interact the same. Just put it that way. If you are still alive, many will be extinct, but you won't be able to interact the same. And this is coming soon because of the fact that sexual energy is tied into what's called the rapture. and many will disappear from the face of the planet and have to go into hiding to cleanse themselves from sexual energy, because the Andromedans put bugs and taps and viruses in the sexual experience. And you only an advanced high level occultist, which a lot of times you may have to go into what's called sexual menage even to heal this. But after that, see, the thing about all of this is you may have to do extreme ritual. What I mean by extreme sexual ritual is that you may have to go into extreme sexual ritual, meaning that doing rituals that aren't necessarily normal sex, and then totally become a saint overnight. And what happens is that a lot of people become addicted because, of course, you get stimulated, really, you get highly stimulated from those types of forms of sex. And it's hard to get away. It's addictive because it's like a feeling you want to get back. But there's rituals you could do, but most people, see, they just go into experience and then that's it. See, there's rituals you can do. And once you find out how bad your energy has been messed up after a lot of those experiences, you'll see why it's important to do those rituals. You'll see why your energy is so low. Once you have a sexual consultation with a professional, you'll see. So if you guys are interested, man, in a consultation, like anybody's interested in this type of stuff, I want to give out a sexual consultation today. Thank you for the donation. We were able to get back up. But I'm looking for a sexual consultation, and I'm going to give you this number, and then I'm going to shut it down shortly. And I want you guys that are interested, serious calls only, to text this number for anybody that feel like they're struggling with this. And I'm pointing this out for a reason, because I got in contact with one of Lil Wayne's kids, and this is what inspired this. So I'm like, I didn't realize a lot of people are going through this, man. This is deep. So it's 513 area code 487 9415. 513 area code 487 9415. Text it. The price on it is going to be pretty much open to like about like $100 a person. We can sit down and figure out what's going on. Any questions you got in the sexual arena based upon your natal chart, I can answer them for you. We're going to do that today to help people out. And I'll be coming up with more information, though. So I just kind of want to point that out and shut down and say, man, 2024 is coming. And for those that aren't ready, man, the worst is yet to come for you, because they're going to ban sex from this planet eventually. That's what's going to happen. They already have the police force and everything. Speaking with some people tied in directly with Joe Biden that are 100% supportive of this. So I'm serious about this. So you guys keep studying. I'll come back up with more. Stay vigilant.